What is going on, everybody? And thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Man Up Real Talk with Mike and Phil. I am your host with the most, Mr. Mike Wiley, saying greetings and salutations to all of you, our faithful followers and listeners. Listen, I appreciate everything that you do to support this podcast, every like, every share, every click, every download, whatever it is that you do to support us. We don't take it for granted, and we greatly appreciate it. Now, for those of you all that's joining us for the first time, we say welcome. And for everybody else that's coming back for another helping, we say welcome back because your boys is back on the air with the Man of Real Talk podcast, a podcast for the people. And joining me as always is my partner in crime, my ace in the hole, my right hand, my left tap shoe. Whatever it is. But I can't even. He's just so many things to this podcast. Mr. Philippines, aka Mr. Classic, aka OG Triple OG, as always, and definitely in the building. What's going on, man?
What's going on, brother? How you feeling?
I'm doing great, except Instacart tried to get me yesterday. Man, listen, look now. I've been using Instacart. You know, Instacart became a family friend in the middle of the pandemic. I mean, it was just like,
yeah.
Look, if you're gonna be brave enough to go shopping in the pandemic, hey, I'm gonna be brave. I'll use this app and I think it's a convenience. You don't feel like going to the store. You pay a little bit more probably, but you're paying for the convenience of it. And then this guy took me. Yes, he tried to take me for a ride yesterday. So I ordered my stuff. It's kind of late in the evening, and the boys had just kind of got in because they worked a little later. And I ain't want to send them back out to the store to myself. I go get some groceries. But I was like, we ain't really had nothing up in here to really eat. And so I ordered a few things, and I was like, well, it'll be here in about an hour and a half or what have you, right? Man, guy gets he gets my order and stuff, and he goes and he starts to shop and everything for me. And what's crazy is that normally, it takes people a minute to do the shopping, man. I think this guy was done in like maybe 15 minutes. And oddly enough, found everything that I asked for with no problem. So what I did notice though is that they always charge you a price like you have your original price, right? And then you have what they hold just in case some stuff costs over or whatever, if you want to add some extra things on there, which is fine. And so I got the notification that he had finished shopping. I was like, all right, cool. Let me see what he got or what he didn't get. And I noticed that he not only did he find everything of mine, but he also found some additional items that I didn't order. Like, I don't know, 2 bags of dog food that cost $156. Man, I must have messaged that dude. I said, "Yo, what's with the dog food, fam?" He was like, yeah, they correcting that right now. I'm still at the store. They gonna refund it. It was they misscanned something. I'm like, how they misscan dog food? So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm sitting up here, and he was like, man, and I'm like, well, hopefully by the time he get it taken care of by the time before he get here. I'm watching and watching and watching. And he was like, okay, your delivery is on his way. Like, all right, cool, but this price ain't changed. So what's going on? Delivery on this way, delivery on this way, delivery on this way. Your order has been delivered. Thank you for using Instacart. I was like, wait, what? Man, not only did he not get a refund for that stuff? But we didn't even get the stuff I didn't even get the stuff that I ordered. They
Wow.
tracked him. He went in the complete opposite direction of my house, and he didn't answer none of their calls. He didn't reply to none of their texts, and they was like, "We are so sorry, and we apologize, and blah blah blah." And they was like, "Did you want us to reorder?" I said, "No." I said, "I just want my money back, what he spent." And I was like, "That's it." And then they gave me a little something extra for the inconvenience, man, but it was bogus. I'm like, wow, boy, how you trying to get? Listen, why try? Here's the thing, and this is for all you future Instacart thieves. They have your information, you idiot. You gotta put.
But you
Whatever.
know what, Mike? I'm gonna be real. Well, let me see. Find
Who
this.
in the chat? I'm
John, what's
sorry.
good, John?
What's
What's
good,
good,
y'all? I'm
Finest? How
sitting up
y'all
here.
doing,
It's
bro?
too early to be ranting, but I'm ranting already. But what's going
I
on,
usually
everybody?
get. They usually like say, we do Instacart also.
Yeah, I'm
They
hard,
usually
dude.
call. They call when they in the store, letting me know what they got, what they ain't got. So yeah.
Yeah. Always. I love Instacart, man. But it is what it is. Listen, I'm not dumping on the app or nothing like that. I actually really
No,
like Instacart, and I am not trying to deter y'all from using it. Just be
that's a
mindful
good
that
app.
yeah,
Yeah,
just
be
be mindful
careful.
that it's people
Yeah,
out there. They own something,
just be
and it
careful out
and it
there.
happens. Listen, real quick. I want to give a shout out to John and tell him happy belated anniversary. I think him and his wife just
Yes,
recently
sir. I
celebrated their
belated to
anniversary.
him and Bunny, him and his wife.
Yeah, man. So Black Love, man, we got to celebrate that.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Happy
sir.
anniversary,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Happy anniversary, bro.
Yeah, man. So happy about that. And yeah, we just good, man. Listen, just in case you all don't know, if you can't catch the live shows, we upload the audio of the show every week. So if you want to catch it on just a regular podcast, maybe you on the job and you just want to listen to it, you can absolutely do so. And you can go back to listening to our audio on any
Shout out to the
application.
audio world. Shout out to
Yes.
y'all.
Every podcast application that you guys normally use for your podcast, you can find us there. I was shocked that I found us on Spotify. I
Yeah,
was
we
I was
everywhere.
pretty I was geeked about that. I was like,
Yeah.
oh snap, son, we on Spotify. So
Yeah.
it was
We
one of them
everywhere
type of
out there in
things.
audio. That's why I say I'm starting from this point on. I did it last week also.
Yeah,
I'm going to shout out to the audio world because y'all show your boys some love.
yeah. So
Y'all show us love.
I was geeked about that. I found us on Spotify, and there's a couple other places I looked. I didn't expect to see us, but we was there. So whatever your favorite podcast application is, most likely you can find it and everything. So, but listen, I'm glad you all are here. And as I said, listen, I need also, if you don't mind, I need you to like, tag, and share this video.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll do that right
tag,
now.
and share.
Do that right now.
Yeah, it takes a few minutes and it's free. It don't cost you nothing. But what
Yeah.
it does for us is it shows activity and it helps people to find us and all of that good stuff. So if you don't mind, go ahead and like, tag, and share that. Listen,
It
we are
gets us in the
trying.
algorithm, y'all. That's basically what we're trying to say.
That's all it does. We also are trying to set up our first meetup for the year. Those details are incoming. I think I'm trying to do it around my birthday and do kind of like a double thing. You know what I'm saying? Celebrate the birthday, do the meetup, and I think that'll be dope. So that's gonna be in April. I want to do it before we leave for our cruise. So, but those details are incoming. I'll let you all know. And I think that's
23
it.
years, John. That's what's up, bro. What's
23.
good, Tim?
Yeah, that's good, man. That's what's up. Absolutely. So I think that's pretty much it for the little
Yeah.
preliminary
Let's
stuff.
get
All
down to
right,
business, bro.
let's get into the meat of this thing, y'all.
Yes, sir.
I got another joke for y'all. I don't know if y'all.
Here we go with these doggone jokes, man.
I got a joke for y'all. Y'all ready? What did the 5 fingers say to the face? Slap.
I'm Rick James. King Kong ain't got nothing on me.
Ain't
I'm
got
Rick
nothing on me.
James.
Speaking of slaps, let's talk about this Chris Rock thing.
Fine says his birthday's April the 10th.
I know. I remember that for some reason. Chris Rock had a special this past weekend.
Yeah.
Netflix. They came out of pocket $40 million for 2 of his specials. They paid him, and they wanted him to.
The
And he
first
did.
live special on
It was
Netflix also.
it was the first live special. Yes, it was. And he actually fumbled a couple of his jokes, which you can tell it was live, but it's all good. And it was weird too, because like whoever was directing it, like some of the cuts when they went to him, like they were expecting a punchline, but he didn't do one, and so it was just kind of like this awkward moment. Like, okay, zoom out, zoom out. It was just little goofy things that I was noticing. But he had the special, and I don't know. I want to know what you all thought about it. I know I have my opinions of it, but I want you guys' opinions. Phil, I'll ask you. What did you think about it? How did you honestly feel? Was it worth the
I'm
wait?
I'm gonna
You
be
know,
honest with you.
go ahead.
I I like Chris Rock, but I never really was a big Chris Rock fan.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I liked a couple of his earlier stand-ups, like, but it was really I was just waiting for what I was waiting for, I got the end of it.
Okay. So you
That's
was
all
pretty
I
much.
really wanted to hear from him. I really would just want to hear how he was gonna reply to Will and Jada,
Hmm.
you know.
But okay. So what did you
So
feel? You didn't like. But
on
it
the
was a whole hour. You
I
didn't like.
know. I know. I mean, Beyonce can get a dude from Beyonce can work at McDonald's and get a dude, but if Jay-Z worked at McDonald's, I mean, it was all right. But like I said, I really, I kind of I like his little clapback. I know he getting heat for it, but I feel like this. I mean, if somebody slapped me, you can't tell me when and when not to get over it. But to be honest with you, overall, I would give it about a 6 or a 7.
Hmm.
And that's probably because I'm not a big Chris Rock fan. Like I said, I'm gonna be honest with you. I just want to hear, was he gonna reply to Will in the stand up? And yeah, I had to go, watch it, but it came at the end. But it's not like I was sitting I can't wait till this special come. No, I was, I watched it. A couple of jokes. It was all right. But like I said, once I got, the part I waited for was at the end.
Do you think it was like was it? Yeah, he got him back. That was the end all be all to Will Smith.
To be honest with you, Mike, had he did this clap back a little sooner, maybe the steam would have been real steamy. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna front.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy this little clap back and all that, but to make it like the way you said it, no.
Hmm.
Not in my opinion. Not in my opinion.
Sunset. What did he say? He said, I never liked Chris, but it was a good special. He addressed Will at the end. People talking to him saying parents told him not to fight in front of white people, meaning he had some home training and taught him not to make his race look bad. Good special. Well, let's talk about that since you brought it up.
See, I didn't want to do that, Tim. I was trying to be.
No,
See,
no, no.
Tim is a troll. I was trying not to bring these certain. That's why I was trying to skip through what I was saying.
John, I 100% agree.
Yes, it was. Marlon Wayans special was way funnier than Chris
I
Rock's.
laughed
Yes.
probably 90% of
Yeah,
90% of
yeah.
Marlon's special. I really
His his special was funny.
his special was funny. If you didn't see it, it's on HBO Max. Check it out. It
Max.
was actually it
Yeah,
was
his was
actually
way funnier than Chris
he
Rock.
and I love it because he gave it from his perspective about both of them, which was hilarious. If you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. I think it's called God
But let's
Loves
be
Me.
honest, Mike. You know what?
Mhm.
Tim just opened the door. So you know what? You
I
know
mean, he
what?
opened it, so we look. Let's just run
Yeah.
through
Tim
it.
opened it up. Let's just
Let's
be
let's
real.
let's run through it. So
Yeah, we
here,
us black folks, we like and let me just get this idea,
go
and then
ahead,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
let you have it. But us black folks, yeah, we love us some Chris Rock, but let's be honest, y'all. Chris Rock somewhat have always his audience,
Careful,
yeah, it was black,
careful.
but
Be careful,
but
careful.
he have always catered to the white audience
Hmm.
a little bit.
Hmm.
Don't get me wrong, black folks back Chris Rock, but I'm not finna do that. Go ahead, Mike. Take it. Take
No,
it.
no,
Take it.
go ahead. No, no, you went there. Go.
Take it. Take it. Take it now. I
All
don't want to
right.
go there.
Okay,
Take it.
here's my thing. And let's bring Tim Comic back up. He said, now people talk about him saying that his parents told him not to fight in front of white people, meaning he had home training, and taught not to make his race look bad. Okay. Now that was in lieu of him getting slapped, because a lot of people was like, well, why didn't he do anything? Even you said it when it happened. You was like, man, Will would have had to run that fade in the back because you're not gonna
Oh
slap
yeah, now
me.
don't- now I get it out on stage,
Mm-hmm.
but dude, soon we went to commercial break.
Right.
Wherever Tyler Perry Denzel had them talking to him at, man, we gonna shoot it, man. We gotta shoot that fair one. I'm serious, man.
Oh, we going in the back and they finna move these catering trays out the way.
Yeah,
It's
man.
going down.
Yeah.
And they can get somebody else to come up there and give away some trophies and host or whatever. Because
And we can be
we
cool after that or whatever it is, but you
we
ain't just gonna
need
slap
to
me and there's no, you know what Shannon Sharp say? Perpetuity.
perpetuity. Chris was the bigger man, honestly. If he would fight it, if he would have had what do you saying? If he would have fight that guy, he would have jeopardized millions in his image. Would he though? Let's I mean,
Tim.
let's
Tim,
let's
now come on, me and you cover the same place. He
let's
ain't gotta
let's
fight him in the
explore that.
public. We can meet up somewhere.
Not even that. Let's say Chris did respond in kind. Let's say they did get into a fight on stage. Would he have really jeopardized his career? Not really. You know why? Because Will initiated it, right?
Yeah.
So they would have never said that, Chris didn't, he responded the wrong way. He should have been the bigger person. No, I think most people would have been like, no. Man walked up on stage and slapped him. He responded the way he should have. I mean, look, I get turning the other cheek, but if you slapping me, the only reason I'm turning the other cheek is because I'm winding up a punch.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong, Mike. I can understand him not at that moment retaliating. But fellas, come
I
on,
get it.
y'all, man. Come on, y'all.
I
I
get it.
understand save your image in front of the public, but come on, man. That man could just up and slap you for making a joke. Come on, man. I mean, you know you're gonna take him somewhere. You come on. Okay? Maybe you don't do it at that moment behind stage,
Mm-hmm.
dude. You know you're gonna be making a call to get in touch with somebody that know him. So me and him can go meet up. We could talk about this.
Right.
We got to get this right.
We're gonna
And that's
hash it
just
out.
being a man. It's not about being ignorant. It's not about being a thug. It's not
Absolutely.
about being a tough guy. But as a man, it's certain respect. A man slap you, man. Come on, man. You can't let that go.
Can't let
And
that
yeah, I
slide.
think me personally, I have no problem with what Chris did. He didn't retaliate on stage. But I'm telling you, wherever Tyler Perry had and Denzel Washington had them talking, trying to calm him down, I would have went back there and approached them. And I'm not trying to hear Chris Rock. He's bigger than me. And he did it. I ain't trying to hear all that mess.
No.
I ain't trying to hear. He played Ali. I played Pookie. Nah, B. Nah. You just slapped me in front of the world. Nah. I got to see you. I got to. I'm a man. I'm not finna just let no man slap me. And they ain't got nothing to do, like I said before. This has nothing to do with being a tough guy. This has to be a man. Come on, man. You know how disrespectful it is for a man to slap you?
Look, it ain't too many more things that's disrespectful other than a man spitting
Come
on
on,
you,
man.
a
Come
man
on, B.
a man
Come
calling
on,
you the
man.
B word, and a man open hand slapping you. Them are the three most disrespectful things you can do to a man. I'm just gonna be honest with you. But let's go a little bit deeper into what Tim said. He said that he didn't reply the way that he wanted to because his mama taught him not to fight in front of white people.
I think that was a joke. I think now I honestly think that was his little punchline to the whole to how he wrote that material talking about him. I think that was the punchline to all of it. Cause my parents told me not to fight in front of white. Mike, I'm just trying to throw the man up. I'm just trying to throw the man a rope a little bit, Mike. That's all I'm doing, B. That's all I'm doing, man.
Stop it.
That's all I'm doing,
You
man.
can't save him,
It's still
Phil.
about black unity, though, bro. That's I
No,
mean,
no. You can't save him, Phil. You
I
can't.
can't.
You cannot save him. Listen, I've never been a Chris Rock fan. Has he had some funny moments? Every now and again. I don't follow him like that. I think I've seen one movie by him that I really liked, and that was when he was running for president in that movie. And I
With
forget.
Bernie Mac,
Yeah, was that Head of the State or something like
head
that?
of the state. Yeah, head of the
Yeah.
state.
I thought that was pretty clever. Other than that, never really liked many of his movies. So I don't even remember a lot of movies he was in besides New Jack City and the Adam Sandler movies.
Now
But
he had another movie with Kerry Washington was in it. And he was
okay.
married to old girl that used to be with Lawrence Fishburne, but I think she was an old Kerry Washington. Old, I forget the name of it, but
Mm-hmm.
that that was another movie. But and then top five, but
Oh,
top five was kind of like
I didn't
just
see it.
he had a whole bunch of comedians,
Wait a minute.
and it's basically like comedians
Was
doing
top
like
five
two
one of
second
those?
stand ups.
Was it one of those black movies I should have watched? Because I didn't see that.
Mike, you know what? Let's move on, Mike. We're not finna start that.
Oh, we ain't moving on yet
We not
because see,
finna do
here's
that.
my problem with Chris. Now, his mama taught him not to fight in front of white people, but I guess she didn't tell him how not to disrespect women in front of white people.
Ooh.
I guess he missed that. I guess he missed that lesson.
Ooh.
But I didn't understand. Like you use a special, and I didn't even laugh at most of it. It was some parts of the of the Will Smith thing I did kind of chuckle at. But why did he go after Meghan Markle? Can somebody explain that to me?
Yeah, I didn't get that either.
What was the point of attacking her? Here's the problem that I have with what he said about her. He was trying to downplay the fact that she was having issues in her life because of her race. Like, oh well, racism exists. That ain't nothing to us. We whatever it was that he was rambling on about. Talk about some how brown. They she was upset because they were asking how brown the baby was. Talking about some we be asking how brown the baby is, but it's a different context when we do it. It's just like when Michael was born. Michael was see through. He was real light. I was like, is he gonna get darker? Because it was funny to me, like how light skinned he was. Because I'm dark. Well, I'm not dark, but I'm definitely not light skinned. Kelly is not light skinned. So it
But
was just
your mother's
my
light skin,
mom.
and her father
My
is light
mom
skin.
is, and my mom
Her
is, and my younger sister is light skinned. So it was
yeah.
just funny.
Plus, you gotta remember Kelly's father's light skin
Kelly's dad
also.
is light skinned, right? So when Michael was born, I was like, is he gonna get darker? But it was different. And we know that context was different in which they were asking that because they wanted to make sure that they ain't have a nigga up there up there in the castle. It ain't because they was just asking, oh, is he gonna get any browner? Come on, man. You know that ain't why. You know that ain't why they was going after her like that. And you tried to minimize that and make it seem like it was nothing. And then let's look at when he went after Will Smith. Let's just look at it. And he was like, I didn't have any entanglements. Okay, that's cool. I didn't put myself out there like they did. He was talking about how they put their stuff out there in the red carpet. Let's rewind the clock, Chris. I remember you being on the Breakfast Club. And you were promoting a movie called I Think I Love My Wife.
That's the movie. That's the movie. That's
the
the movie.
time you were
That's
cheating
the
on
movie.
your wife with three other people.
That's the movie. That's
One
the
of them
movie.
being Kerry Washington, from what I
Yes,
understand.
she was in the movie.
So how is it that you're going to be up there so hypocritical about him and his relationship, and you did the same thing? And tried to make it seem like, well, I would never do anything like that. And you did the exact same thing. You did the exact same thing. And then my thing is, if you got a problem with Will, why you just didn't address Will? You called Jada all kind of bees and all this other stuff. You seem like you got a problem. Like it was something that maybe you have an issue with Jada, and you always seem to have had an issue with her. Always. Now, if your mama taught you how not to fight in front of white people, what's the difference in you pandering in front of them? And what's the difference when you pandering in front of millions of white people on Netflix? Explain that to me. Make it make sense.
But like I said, Mike, this beef goes all the way back to when Jada was talking about boycott the Oscars, and he was hosting it, and he went up there and said that Jada was talking about boycott the Oscars, and he said that didn't nobody invite you. That's I mean that's how long that beef been going on,
Yeah.
you
But
know. But
this look,
did
this
you
is
wait a minute, Chris? I mean, Mike, did you peep how he said everybody called him a BAN? And now you got all these, you got the drink champs, you got all these folks saying, we ain't never called Will that.
then nobody ever. Let me tell you something. This is
You
this
got
is what
folks that got to backtrack and be like,
this is
hey,
this is
you ain't here for
this is
my
what I'm
show.
saying. He said everybody called him a B, and they was. I'm like, no, no. They said he was wrong, and
Yeah.
they said he was bogus, but I ain't hear one person.
Yeah, because Noriega them on their podcast, they addressed it like, hey, not one time did we ever call Will
Not
Smith a B.
one time, son. Not once. Now, and let me tell you, let me say this. I never agreed with how he handled it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
even when you take into account, you just never know what kind of day a person is having. Even if you take into account that maybe Jada is a little bit on the manipulative side.
Man, she is
Because
though,
I'm gonna
dog.
be honest with you, it ain't no way in the world you are going to interview me while you're talking about the fact that you cheated on me.
And
And
gave
I
it a name.
and then gave it a name. You
That's
gave
how
it
this is how crazy it is. You interviewing me about you cheating on me, and you gave it. And when I hear my entangled, it like I said, I don't believe in disrespecting women. Period.
right. They
But
see.
Jada ain't right.
I gotta
Jada
get to
is
these
not right
comments. I
though.
gotta get to these comments because they hitting it right on the head. Look, Tina was saying that he shouldn't have said anything to further hurt Meghan Markle, and I agree. What was the point?
No, I didn't. I don't understand.
It was
I
to
didn't understand why he brought that up.
what was the point, Phil? To downplay racism because he was sitting in front of CK Lewis, and while CK Lewis called him a
Well,
nigga to his face, and he just
I
laughed at
didn't
it.
want to listen. I didn't want to say it
I know
when
you
Tim
didn't want to
opened up
bring
the
it up.
box. But let's be real. Chris Rock is one of those safe niggas. I didn't want to say it. I was
He
trying to be
had,
respectful.
and if we can be honest, he has a problem with black women.
Remember Good Hair? Or what was the name of that
Ex-
movie, Eddie?
yeah, exactly. Eddie was just talking about that.
Yeah.
He was criticizing it. Come on, dog. And what upsets me is that people are championing him for this special. Oh man, it was classic. It was one of his best. It was this, that, and the other. And you know who really applauding him and really clapping for him? It's those people who hue is a little bit lighter than ours.
Oh yeah.
They were so glad he went after. A lot of them was glad he went after Will Smith the way that he did. And to be honest with you, some of us was glad he went after Will the way that he did. Because a lot of us don't even like the fact that Will Smith is successful.
I mean,
Some people feel it's undeserved, which you have the absolute right to that opinion.
to be honest
I mean,
with you, Mike.
I'm not gonna say he's the greatest actor there is. He does pretty okay, you know. But he was the first actor that I think to ever get paid $20 million for a film.
Oh yeah. 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 Yeah.
He set that trend.
Willie did that.
Now I will say this. I don't think that this was something that I think that there, and I don't like conspiracy theories. I've never been that type. But why would a man who, for all intents and purposes, for the last 30 years has never done anything to put himself in the media under a negative light? Never done anything like that. As a matter of fact, he's always been that role model type, always been inspirational. People always be like, man, Will Smith, Will Smith, Will Smith. Millions of followers. I remember when he first got on social media, when he first got on Instagram, he got over 1 million followers that same day. People love Will Smith. And I sometimes think that there are things that are at play to kind of knock people down a peg. Now, can I prove it? No. Do I think there are other machinations at work? Absolutely. Hollywood is an animal that a lot of people don't understand, man. And
But
it's
you
a
know what?
lot of stuff that goes on in Hollywood because it's a business. And this is just me. I think that all of this was meant to knock Will Smith down a peg because they didn't want to. They didn't want us to keep paying these actors $20 million a pop for a movie. The pandemic killed Hollywood almost, and people even right now ain't going to the movies like they used to. And I used to love the movies. Now I'll be at the crib like, when is it coming to streaming? I'm watching. I got a 55-inch TV. I can make my own popcorn.
But you know what, Mike? We still can't forget that Will did slap though, bro.
Yes, he did. He did.
He did. But let me say this, Mike. I really
Go ahead.
think that brother took a lot of like low key L's by what was going on in his marriage. And I fought Jada. I don't care what nobody say. Women, y'all be mad at me. I fought Jada for it. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that pressure from all that is the reason why he went up there and slapped that man.
Yeah. Eddie
And I
says that.
think that he shouldn't have did that, but I think that was from what was going on in his life.
I don't think so either. Daniel said, respectfully, brothers, you must study what is really going on in Hollywood. I agree, because I'm gonna tell you, man, I'm not that guy.
No,
I
man.
can't tell you I know what be really going on. But there's, you hear people talking about it and you hear the rumors about the stuff that goes on in Hollywood, and it don't sound like a nice place.
Well,
So
come on,
I
y'all. Come on, man.
so I agree. Eddie said, folks need to know that these folks are not the image they play on film. Will also has a history
No,
of
not
Oh,
at all.
absolutely. Absolutely.
No, not
So,
at all.
I'm not giving, let me be perfectly clear. I am not giving either one of them a pass in any way, shape, form, or
No, neither
fashion.
one. No, nobody gets a
You
pass
know,
in this.
nobody gets a pass in this. Will was stupid for doing what he did. And then Chris Rock just do what he normally does, which is pander to white people and then try to play it off like, like he was the victim.
But
And
that's
yet
why Chris Rock should have nipped this crap in the bud
he
a
should
day after the Oscars.
and which is going to bring which is bringing me to my next point. Now what?
Oh, it's over now. I don't want to hear nothing else from nobody about this mess.
Because
Chris,
listen.
you shouldn't say nothing else. Will, don't say nothing else. It's over now. It's
But
over.
I don't even want that. I would like for them to come together and publicly and reconcile this stuff, because see
No,
now,
that ain't happening. That
but
ain't happening too
I'm just
soon,
saying,
Mike.
this is just, think of how divisive this is. I bet if you asked 100 people about Will Smith and Chris Rock, you would probably almost get a 50-50 split about because you're gonna have half on Will's side and you're gonna have half on Chris' side. And
Mike,
we're divided right now about who you
I
think.
get what you're saying,
You
Mike,
understand what
but
I'm saying?
come
But
on,
it's
man.
like,
And it sounds good, Mike, but
but
in
where
the end,
but where do
in
we
the end,
go from here? We just don't go anywhere. It just is what it is.
hey, to that point, come on, man. I mean, I get what you're saying, but maybe in the future, somewhere down the road, but right now, man, hey, that slap probably still sting a little bit.
I
So
mean, look, I get it.
I have a right to hold a grudge because, come on, man, you slapped me in front of the world. And like I said, if Chris would have nipped this mess in the bud that next day,
Okay.
maybe y'all could have been reconciled.
But can we stop playing like Chris really suffered? I mean,
He didn't suffer.
this is what I'm saying.
Chris didn't
Look,
suffer.
I get it. He got
Oh,
slapped, and for a moment, people was talking about it. But after a while, ain't nobody talked about that until he said he had a special coming out and he was going to
man, that
dress.
slap got him $40 million to
They got him
Netflix.
$40 million, dude.
Man, ain't nobody feeling bad for no Chris
Come on,
Rock.
man.
That got him $40 million from Netflix.
He got a bag just from being slapped.
Yes, sir.
Let's just be honest.
No.
It was calculated. And look at when he dropped it. Like almost a week before the Oscars.
Oscars come on Sunday.
Come on, dog. And you didn't think that this was planned? Y'all thought this was just happenstance? Like it was, oh, I didn't even think about that. Come on, bro.
You're right, John. Chris got a check for that.
Chris got a check for that, man.
A big check.
He got a big check. Because if it was really that serious, why didn't you sue Will?
No, man.
I mean, but why not? Will Smith's net worth is $310 million. You only got 40 million from Netflix. You don't think that he couldn't have got more from Will Smith if he sued him? It was on record the man assaulted him. Why didn't he sue him? Because his mama told him not to sue in front of white people?
Mike, relax. Relax, Mike.
Come on,
Relax.
man.
Don't start that.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Come on, I'm tired of talking about Chris, man. Let's jump on something else.
All I'm saying is that both Chris and Will are Pinocchio.
Yeah,
and it's
man.
a whole lot of Geppettos that's out there in Hollywood. That's all I'm saying. But it got to be. I hope this is the end of it. And I know that now Jada Camp, her media camp is responding, and Will Smith which was funny to me because he was somehow he was disappointed. Why? Why are you disappointed? What did you expect this man to say?
This is why I said.
What did you want him to do? It's like, stop it. Both of y'all just need to stop crying. You grown men. It happened. Niggas get slapped every day in the hood. Ain't nobody whining about that stuff.
Every day.
Ain't nobody whining about it. Ain't nobody crying about it. People get slapped every day in the hood for some stupid stuff. And you know what happens? Everybody just keep it moving. They just keep it moving. And I don't think, and I agree with Sean. I don't think this is the end of it at all. And it's probably going to continue because you know what? It keeps Chris valid. It keeps him valid. And it keeps Will. Listen, Will Smith is doing Bad Boys 4.
Yeah, man. Like I said, that's why I said y'all should just leave it alone now because it didn't stop none of y'all bad.
It did not hurt him.
Keep it pushing.
And he's probably going to get $20 million for doing Bad Boys 4.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Is that Sean Pritchard?
Yeah, that's Big Sean Pritchard, aka MP3.
Sean, did you hear what our Bears did today? I'm leaving it at that because we can't talk about it now.
We ain't talking about the Bears right now. No, we ain't talking about the Bears. We're gonna say that for another failed sports show that y'all be dropping because when the Bears start losing, nobody wants to talk about it. But that's the subject for another show.
I'd be pissed.
Tina said, I'm mad at Chris for not being.
He wasn't.
Now that's funny.
I give it a 7 because of the Will Smith stuff. But I mean, to each his own. If you found that special funny, God bless you. I did.
Look,
it was like a couple of jokes that was funny, but I got what I really was looking forward to see. And after that, I ain't gotta watch it again.
For all you all that was waiting for him to respond, I hope y'all got y'all response. If I had to rate it, it was probably a 4 out of 10. And there was a couple of things that he said that made me chuckle, but other than that, I didn't enjoy it at all. I was really disappointed in it. Really, really disappointed in it. But again, Marlon Special, I enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it,
way funnier. Please go check that out.
Way funnier.
Way funnier.
All right, let's since y'all talking about sports, let's talk about sports. But I don't want to talk about the Bears because they're the Bears.
Mike, relax.
Let's talk a little basketball, specifically a young man by the name of Ja Morant. Now, are you posing with a gun on camera, Phil? Is that what you're doing?
That's how you do it. That's how you did on Sideline.
That he was.
Man, you need to stop. Let's talk about him because I really want to get into this little boy.
All right.
Let's talk about him.
Tell you what. You go ahead. Go ahead and lead it off. Tell the people. Right. This is for those of you all that don't know what the Ja Morant thing is. Phil's gonna run it down for you. Go ahead, take it, man.
Last year, Ja Morant was playing basketball at his home with a 17-year-old boy, which he repeatedly punched in the face.
Who is Ja Morant? Who is Ja Morant?
Ja Morant is the star point guard for the Memphis Grizzlies. He was the second overall pick after Zion Williams. Me personally, I think that New Orleans should have picked Ja Morant. And as I can see, before he started doing this stuff, as you can see that Zion's not going to play. And I said it before, his weight is not going to be able to last in the NBA. But that's another story. We don't talk sports on here. We'll talk about it. Mike want to make face, so what? So he's a star point guard for the NBA. I mean, for the NBA Memphis Grizzlies. He just took over for Kyrie Irving for the Nike for Nike. He has a signature shoe, which looks just like the Irvins. But and he just signed a lucrative deal with Powerade. And last was that 2 summers ago, he signed a contract with the Memphis Grizzlies, max extension for 230 million. That's who Ja Morant is. But lately, Ja Morant, he's been acting up. Like I said, he little 17-year-old, he punched in the face and pulled a gun on him. Then his mom had got into a security guard at some shoe store, and Ja came up there with 11 guys, and they tried to press him. And then he got into during a game against the Pacers. He got into it with a Pacer player, and when the Pacers was getting on their buses, they saw red beams, and it was Ja and his guys in the truck. And recently, Mr. John Morant been he was on what's that thing that you be on, Mike? Instagram. And the gun was so small though, man. That gun was so I wish I had something. That gun was so small that he had, man. But that's what's going on. The Grizzlies sent them home for a couple, you know what I'm saying, for a couple games. What they're trying to do is soften up if the NBA come down on them. Uh he had some charges in Colorado that he was cleared of, so that might help him out. He's a great, I mean, like I said, he's one of my favorite players to watch. Little boy got bounced. Like I said, I thought that he should have went ahead of Zion, but what he's doing right now, Mike, gonna mess the bag up. And I'm really not. I really don't want to go deeper to Ja. I want to talk to T. Morant.
Now,
T.
who's Steve
Morant,
Morant?
his father. Usher look
Hmm.
like Usher. Look like
Hmm.
Usher.
Why now? Why do we want to talk to Dad?
I want to talk to Dad, Mr. T. Morant. I know you're proud of your son. Any
Hold on.
father
I got to
would.
get you a close up for this one. Go ahead, man.
Miss T. I know you're proud of your son. Any father would be proud of what your son have accomplished. But, sir, and I respectfully say this: if you want him to keep it, man, stop being a fan and be a father. Real talk. I be seeing, you getting saucy on that on that sideline of game. That's how you end up getting into it with Shannon Sharp and stuff. I see you. You like to get saucy and run your mouth at the opposing players and all that. But the things that they say that you know about, I get it. Ja Morant, he's 23 years old. I understand, and I get that he's the breadwinner. Now, let's be real. I know he's the breadwinner. I get it. All y'all houses on the same block. I think yours across the street and next door to him. But you got to get out of. You got to look past that money, and you have to stop being a fan for a hot second, Mr. Morant, and really talk to your son. I mean, step out of the friend zone with him
Mm.
and talk to him. And if he get mad, that is well, you raised him. So if he want to take the money away and all that, you and your wife made it before he got rich. You know what I'm saying? Y'all put him in all these nice schools and all that. So all I'm saying is it's up to you. And the way it looks is that, and my friend Rio said this, and I don't want to think this, but the way it looked at, he don't respect you as in taking orders from you. And I don't know, maybe because you don't you think what he's doing is cool, and I hope that you don't. But I really think that you need to sit your son down and really keep it a bean with him. Keep it 100% a bean with him because he has a bright future. The NBA is really setting this boy up to be like one of the faces of the future. So you, somebody got to get in this young boy ear and tell him that what he's doing is gonna give him a short career. It really is.
I
And by
like.
no means am I trying to disrespect T Morant. I don't know this man. I just know that he seems like he's a good father. T Morant played basketball, high school basketball, Ray Allen, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
So he was a hooper. He got they got some little training facility in their backyard that he take the kids through and all that. So I take nothing away from what he's doing, but what I'm saying is sometimes it do seem like that he's more of a fan than a father, and that's just in my opinion. But in no way do I take anything away from him. But I just feel that he need just to sit his son down and keep it a bean with him. That's just me.
I think that was very eloquently said. Now, I think I have a different perspective on it. He ain't about that life.
Mike, I was gonna get off into that next, Mike. You
No,
gonna say that, man?
no,
Oh,
he's
Mike.
not about that life. Look, Eddie said it plain and simple. It's a failure to guide and mentor and lead. That's on his father's part. That's on his coach's part and everybody else that's involved in this young man's life. Somebody should have sat him down and said, dude, you ain't about that life. John Morant is the only person I know that's trying to get out the NBA. How are you trying to get out of the NBA? Explain that to me. You're doing all of the stupid things to get you kicked out of the NBA. You ain't about that life. You didn't. And I understand maybe he came from maybe the part that he grew up in may not have been great, but you came from a two-parent home. You went to a
Yeah,
private school.
and that's what I'm saying. It's not like let me tell you something, Mike. My son can be John Morant, but if I see my son going somewhere, can't the money can't be more important than the road my son is going down. And if I knew if I raised you good where you didn't raise up, you was raised semi privileged that I had something to do with. So at that point, if you want to take your money away from me and your mother still gonna survive. We were surviving before you made the NBA. So I think that his father needs to sit that boy down before he get himself hurt or before he loses. Because, like you said, he's not about that life. He's not at all.
Even
But
if
somebody needs to get in his ear.
I was just
Somebody.
I was just about to say, let's just say he don't respect his dad enough, and that's fine. I get it. There's a lot of young men that grow up and maybe they don't respect their fathers for whatever reason. And maybe his dad did tell him, "Hey son, don't do that, don't do this cuz you're going to drop the bag." And maybe he just ain't listening. But there has to be somebody somewhere
Somebody.
that's brave enough to tell him, "Listen, stop being a nigga. You sat up here and you worked hard and you practiced and you did all of these things to come out of this to get into the NBA to make this money to
I don't
live
get
your
that.
dream.
I don't get it.
Hold on, you live in a dream that there are thousands of guys that wish they millions that wish they were in your shoes. And you have the opportunity to go ahead and make millions and do well for yourself and do well for your family. And you can't let the streets go. The very streets that you did not come up in. Maybe your boys did. Maybe they were out there in the mud, but you definitely wasn't in the mud. Stop playing. Somebody need to slap him and say, "Is this what since you love the streets so much, is this what you want to go back to? Is this where you want to go?" Because that's what's going to end up happening.
Where you gonna be? You gonna be
If
in
the
the streets for
NBA
real.
decides that they no longer want to deal with you, guess what you're going to be doing? You're going to be somewhere laying bricks for a construction company. That's what you're going to be doing.
And he's in
All
position, Mike. He's in position to win LeBron and all the NBA is really setting this kid up to be like one of the faces of the future.
Yeah, I
Don't
get
mess
it.
that up.
I
Please
get
don't
it.
mess that up,
And
man.
he's setting himself up to not be the future. He's setting himself up
Streets
for
don't love
failure.
nobody, y'all. Streets
Look,
don't love nobody.
let me tell you this. There was a comedian one time, and I actually remember we was talking about next Friday, and when Ice Cube went out there to when he went out there to stay with his uncle, and he was somebody how you lived in the suburbs. He said, "Yeah, I know. I was the one that said love your hood. Don't ever forget where you came from. Don't ever leave the hood." He said, "But when I got that money, man, I was gone.
I was gone.
I was gone." Listen, if you do what you do to get out of the hood, stay out of the hood. I don't understand. It's just like I look at these young rappers, and every time I see one of these guys dying over some hood BS, my first thought is that if you're making the money, your whole thing is like, I'm trying to get out the hood. I'm trying to get out the hood. I'm trying to get out the hood. I'm trying to get out of this struggle. I'm tired of this struggle. And you finally make it, or at least what most people would deem as make it. Why is it that you can't let these streets go? The very thing that you're trying to get away from, you keep going back to it. You are in a position to better yourself, to better your family, even to better your friends if you do it right. But it's something about the streets that you can't let go. Why? It ain't nothing out here for you. Nothing. And you can't seem to let it go. Ja, you sitting up there, you posing with a gun on Instagram. Why? 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 Because of lack of mentorship and leadership. When we was coming up feeling, we talk about this all the time. We had those big homies that was out there when
Oh
we were out
yeah,
there.
man. Oh yeah. Yeah,
We
yeah,
had
yeah.
those guys that was out there in the street, and when we was hanging out, they would sit up there and be like, "Why you ain't in school?
OGs get you right. They used to walk us to school, they catch us
What
cutting.
would take you to school?"
And tell you, we catch you out here again, we gonna whoop up on you. And they
And
mean it.
look, I need you in school just in case I need a lawyer, just in case I need a
Mm-hmm.
doctor.
Yep,
I need you to be in school.
that's for real.
Where are those guys? And I ask myself that question. Do I do enough? When I see young men and I see the stuff that they into, do I do enough to say, hey, brother, there's other options out there? And I get it. Sometimes that life is attractive. And if I don't have anything to offer them that's better than what they're already doing, that's a hard book. That's a hard book to sell.
Well, you know, Mike, I mentor young men. You know this. Hey, you go to anybody go to my Facebook, I mentor young men. So I get it. I understand that I'm a dinosaur, so I might not see things through a 18 or a 19 or 20-year-old eyes. But I'm just telling you, the streets don't love nobody. I played in the streets.
The
I
streets
left the
don't love
porch and I
nobody.
I left the front porch and I was outside at 12 years old. I was riding a bus by myself at 13 and 14 years old.
Absolutely.
So I was outside. I know how the streets was. Don't love nobody.
They don't love
Love
nobody, man.
nobody at all.
And then I'm gonna also say this: we got to start holding these young men accountable. I'm sitting up there listening to Jalen Rose. Well, I was John Morant, and I know where he came from, and I understand. Stop it. If you was John Morant, why you ain't call him and say, Josh, stop doing stupid things. Stop doing things that's going to ruin your career. If you was John Morant, why didn't you reach out to him and say, hey man, look, I understand, I get it. I came from the streets of Detroit, and I was this and I was that. Man, listen, ain't nothing out there. Let that stuff go. Get your bag, work on your career, and be there for your family, be there for your friends. If that's what you want to do, don't let this stuff drag you down. Nobody is holding this dude accountable. Stop making excuses for the stupid stuff that he did.
But you know what, Mike? I like what Jalen Rose said, but I just think that Jalen Rose should have said that directly to Ja.
He should have said it to
He
him.
should have said on NBA Countdown.
Man, he trying.
That's something you should have said directly to Ja.
I'm tired. I'm just tired of seeing young people blow opportunities. And I'm tired of the fact that we as black men in our communities are not doing our part. And at least and let me say this. I'm not going to say that they're all going to listen
No, they're
because
not. Don't
because
give me. They're not. Not all of
be-
them gonna but you. But you focus on the ones that do catch the jewel.
you folk
Don't
you
worry about who. Don't worry about how many catch it. You just focus on the ones that do catch it.
because you know who's listening. You already know who's listening. And if they take the time out to listen to you, then you got to be able to take the time out to lead them and guide them in the best way.
Yeah.
Listen, we've made enough mistakes in our lives where we can properly tell people, hey, don't do that, because if you do this can happen. You know what I mean? So it's like we have to make sure as men, as upstanding men in our communities, that if we see these young men out here, and especially if you know them, man, look, And ain't nothing wrong with saying, hey man, why you out here? Why are you doing this? You know you can be
It
doing
costs
this. You know
nothing.
you
It costs nothing to talk to a young man.
it don't cost
It
nothing. It
costs
don't
nothing
cost
to mentor.
nothing.
And
Nothing.
mentor don't mean you got to be around them every day. You might see that you might see that young brother probably once or twice during the week.
Once or twice a week.
See
And
what's
I'm not
going on with them.
and
Ask them
I'm
what's
not
going on in their life.
come on. Come on. And I'm not telling you that you out there that you got and see and I don't want y'all to be out there like they already know what they're doing, so you don't need to condemn them for what they're
No,
doing.
don't. And I'm telling you right now, like I said, you know this, Mike. I don't the young men that I deal with, the majority of them are straight from the streets, and they're the
Yeah,
ones I like to deal with because I grew up in the streets. So those ones I feel, me honestly, I couldn't help a young man that's getting straight A's in school.
man.
That's not that. That's not my steez. I'm gonna be honest with you. I like mentoring young men that's out there, so I can try to get them from out of them streets, cause I know what's out there, and I know ain't no success stories in the streets. So
What
don't get people think it is, but it's not. But
Sean
it
Kemp
costs
getting
nothing.
arrested for a drive-by.
Oh yeah, hey, they dropped the charges, Tony. They dropped the charges. Yeah,
What?
somebody no, somebody stole some from him, right?
Uh-huh.
So he tracked them down. When he got to him, they started shooting at him. He returned fire. But they dropped the charges on him, Tony. They did that today.
Okay. Sean Kemp in a drive-by. That's
Hmm.
interesting. But no,
Yeah.
I agree with you, man. Listen, we got if nothing else, we got to be able to teach these young men. We have to be able to teach these young men that who they are and what they are is worth more than what they're trying to attain.
Yes, sir.
You understand what I'm saying? It's like, look, I get it. The money is. I'm not gonna tell you that money ain't a good thing because when you got it, hey,
No.
money. I tell everybody, I'd rather cry in a Mercedes than cry on a bike. I know it may not be the end all be all of everything, but it sure help with a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I understand that the money is important, but it's not worth more than your life.
That's why,
It's,
you just, Mike, you just really, you know what I'm saying? You got to show them that there's ways of getting that type of money, but you get like what we do at the program, man. Like
yeah,
John, I think he's still out in the thing. I had the young man going with John,
yeah,
doing the carpentry and electrical stuff. Then sometimes Jerry, pastor brother Jerry might need some guys to
mm-hmm,
sit them with him. It's just trying to show them that there's ways of getting that money.
yeah,
And if you got to hustle to sell drugs, you then that you take that same hustle and okay, you don't want to work for a white man. I got that.
right,
Find something that you like and go get that trade in it and
man.
get it
So
popping.
get it
Get it
popping,
popping.
and then once you get it, keep it.
That's
Don't let
all, man.
don't don't
That's
let
all.
don't let this foolishness cause you to lose what you didn't work towards. And that's my only. I just want somebody to just grab jaw and just shake him and just be like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, he'll be all right
What
though.
what are you
He'll
what are
be
you
all right.
doing?
He'll be all right. He'll be all right. Young
I hope so,
young
man.
brother.
I hope they don't.
Maybe it's a wake up call. Nike said that they standing with him. You know what I'm
That's
saying? Them
good.
charges in
I'm glad
Colorado just
because
dropped. So
man, because
maybe you
think
think this is
about
a
it.
wake up call.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
this was all this started happening right after he got the shoe deal, right after he got the Powerade thing. And then all of this craziness started. It's like, dude, you listen, he might be the one instance where warning has come before destruction. And I hope he
Mhm.
take heed
I
to it.
hope so. I think so. And like I said, Mr. T Morant, like I said, brother, you have did a good job as a father. Just like I said, keep it a bean with your son. Let him know that generational wealth don't come by every day.
Right. It don't come by. So I hope they don't suspend him and hopefully he's learned some things from this and will straighten up and keep it going, man. Because like you said, this guy is definitely one of the top rising stars in the
Yeah, I like
NBA.
him. He's one of my favorite players.
And if he
I, I
keeps
still I still think New Orleans should have took him over Zion.
yeah, and if he keeps going in his trajectory, man, he's definitely gonna be a Hall of Famer. So
Oh
God
yeah,
bless him.
yeah,
God bless
yeah.
him. All right, man. Last thing, let's talk about this real quick, because I everybody has a right to their own opinion, right? And as a person who was born in this country, you have a God-given right from birth to say whatever it is that's on your mind and to have whatever opinion you want to have. And as a fellow American, I will fight for that right for you to say what you want to say and have whatever opinion that you have, no matter how wrong it is. I'm watching, and actually I wasn't watching, somebody sent me the clip of Joe Budden's podcast. So those of y'all who don't know, Joe Budden was at one point in time a rapper, I think. I don't remember nothing he made except for that Pump It Up song.
Man, get out Joe Beasy, man. Ordinary Love Ish trilogy is one of the best 3 songs ever made. Come on, man. Ain't gonna let you poo-poo on Joe Beasy. Mood Music is a classic.
How many CDs does Joe Budden have?
Joe Budden got a couple on Mood Music, 1 and 2, Rage the Machine.
No, those are CDs, or are those CDs or songs?
CDs.
Those are CDs.
Yeah. Record sale. Now record sale wise.
Okay. All right.
No,
so let me rephrase the question.
No.
How many commercial hits has Joe Budden had besides Pump It Up?
Probably Pump It Up and Up in the Club and a couple of songs. A couple of songs off that first app. You know what I'm saying? Majority is
Did his first album even go platinum? Did it go gold at least?
I think his first album was the only thing that went platinum. You know, because don't get me wrong, Pump It Up is he's considered one hit wonder because that was his biggest song. He never had a song bigger than that.
Pump it
up. Joe Budden, he all right, man.
Joe Budden is a troll.
He's a troll for sure.
He's a troll. And he says things and he says stupid off the cuff things just to get views and clicks. One of those stupid off the cuff things he said in this clip was that Martin Lawrence was never a big star.
Yeah, I ain't riding with him on that. I saw the pod when he said that.
He said, "Hey, Martin Lawrence, Martin Lawrence. Martin Lawrence was never a big star. Never was Martin Lawrence a big star. He wasn't a big star at all. He just wasn't." And then the goofies that sit up there with him was co-signing on that foolishness. No. You're right. No. Yeah, you're right. He wasn't a big star. He wasn't a big star. I sit up there, man, and I watched that in total disbelief. And for him to fix his lips and to say that was blasphemous. That Martin Lawrence wasn't a big. Sorry. He said Joe was smoking too much Budden.
You know, he used to be on that dust real hard back in the days, Tony.
Yeah, now
he smoked dust.
Now he on something else, and I ain't gonna even go there. Yeah. I refuse to even go that way. But he was like, yeah, Martin Lawrence wasn't a big star. He just wasn't. He wasn't a huge star. He had one show that was on Fox. He wasn't even on a big network. And it only lasted for 3 seasons. It didn't even last for 3 seasons, actually. It was like 2 seasons. In the 3rd season, they basically kicked him off the show. He wasn't a big star.
What are you talking about? What's he last for 3 seasons?
He was something about Martin.
Did he say that? I watch all that dude podcast. Like I said, his podcast, the first podcast I started watching back in 2015, 2016 when it was called I Names Podcast Later.
He said that Martin he was never a huge star. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I heard him say that.
Correct me if I'm wrong. But Martin Lawrence, for all intents and purposes, let's say this. If I was to ask you, in your opinion, what do you consider to be a huge star? Let's set the parameters before I go into my tirade. What do you consider, like, if I was to ask you who is a huge star in your eyes, who would you say?
Martin Lawrence is a huge. He was a
No, no,
huge.
no. Just
Oh man,
not count Martin. Who would you just like? Give me an example in your opinion who a huge star is.
anybody?
Yeah, yeah. Just give me an example.
Huge star right now.
It ain't got to be now. Just who? Just give me some people who you consider to be big stars or huge stars.
You talking about like the Denzels or the what's her name? The Angela Bassett's.
Okay.
Musically, you probably would say probably like a Beyonce or movie wise. I mean TV wise right now.
Mm-hmm.
It will vary. What TV show? What black TV show? Well, no, black TV shows they don't care about those
Please don't
now
mention Tyler Perry
in this
black TV
generation.
shows. I promise to
No,
God.
we ain't talking about no
I will
doggone Tyler.
shut.
Mike,
I
leave
will.
Tyler Perry alone, Mike.
I will shut this
Mike,
boy down if you
leave
start naming
Tyler
Perry
Perry
shows. I
alone,
promise
Mike.
you I
Leave
will.
I don't watch none of them shows.
Yes,
Leave
you do.
Tyler alone, though.
Yes,
No,
you
I
do.
don't.
You
Leave
don't
Tyler.
watch none of
Which
his
one I
shows.
watch?
You don't watch none of his
None of
shows.
them.
Not
None of them,
one.
bro.
Not one.
Not one. Not
All right.
one. Name
All
one.
right.
Not
All right.
one.
All right. All right.
I didn't watch it back when he had that one with G Money on it. I really don't. I mean, I really don't. There's no TV shows really that I like. That's really like the big thing.
All right, but it don't even matter. So I'm seeing some names being tossed up here. I see Kerry Washington. Bunny considers Kerry Washington to be a big star. Now, who else? Snoop Dogg.
What was that TV? What was that
considered to
TV
be-
show that? What was that TV show that she was on when she was the president's side chick?
Scandal.
Kerry, yeah. So yeah, I can go with that. Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Snoop Dogg.
everybody knows Snoop Dogg.
So, for all intents and purposes, I don't understand then if these are people who we consider to be big stars, why would Martin not be in that category? When you look at the show Martin, I can tell you personally, there were times when Martin was coming on, and I would tell my, hey, don't call me because Martin about to come on. Don't call me because Martin is about to come on. Dude, I can sit up there and watch his episodes. I can watch reruns of Martin right now, and they are still to this day some of the funniest things I've watched on TV. Martin was going up against big shows like Cosby and some of these other shows from back then, and was doing well.
Martin low-key took us away from Cosby, man.
He was pulling in he was pulling ratings in for Fox that it wasn't too many shows doing for Fox.
He helped build Fox. Martin Living Color, The Simpsons,
what was
Married
the other
with
show?
Children.
Yep.
Married with Children, The Simpsons, Living Color, Martin. It was another show that came on there.
Those
was the flagship channels on Fox. I mean,
if we can keep it 100, if it wasn't for Martin, you wouldn't have seen no Living Single. Martin paved ways for a lot of those up and coming black TV shows. The man did movies. All kind of look. Everybody talk about Bad Boys was Will Smith movies. Let me school y'all real quick. Bad Boys was not a Will Smith movie.
No.
Bad Boys was written for Martin Lawrence, and they wanted him to do the movie with Wesley Snipes originally. Yeah. And he said, no, I want the kid from Fresh Prince.
Yeah, he wanted Fresh Prince.
He brought Will in. And then, of course, Will, he rocketed it on to do great works. But
Thin line between love and hate.
Come on, man. Thin line.
And we ain't talking about Def Jam yet.
I haven't even got to his comedy.
But a fun fact, Mike, Def Jam, the original host was supposed to be Robin Harris, but he died.
I know. And Martin took it over, and he took Def Jam he made Def Jam what it was.
Yeah.
He made it what it was. You talk about all of movies that Martin was in. Black Knight. What was it? Blue Streak. Fine. Big Mama's House. All the Bad Boy movies, and of course they're making a fourth one. I mean, dude, look, Tony saying look, same thing. The list goes on and on and on.
House Party was what made
Come on, that's what I originally remember him from. He was Bilal in House Party.
Yeah, Bilal with the bad breath.
And that dude, when he was like, "Look, man, you bump my table one more time, I'm gonna kick your effing heart out." I was like, "Oh snap!"
That was
Bilal,
Groove Be Chill. Groove Be
yeah.
Chill. He kept dancing, kept dancing. Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, for him to sit up there and say that national security, there you go, nothing to lose. Yeah, come on.
Nah, but I'm Joe's my man, but he was bugging on that one.
Yeah,
He
what's
was bugging
happening
on that
now?
one.
Was he in What's Happening Now?
Yeah, he was in What's Happening Now. Martin worked in
Oh,
a restaurant.
oh snap! You're right. Oh,
That was like that was his first TV show.
I forget, dude. I
He
completely
was on
forgot
Star
about that.
Search. You know he was on Star
Yes,
Search.
I do remember him being on
Yeah, he was
Star
on What's
Search.
Happening Now. He was on What's Happening Now.
Do the
He worked
right
in a
thing.
restaurant.
Come on, do the right.
Yeah, do the right thing.
Boomerang. Do we not remember him from? I mean, come
Oh
on,
man, Boomerang. Come on, man.
come on. And I know he
Come
wasn't
on.
a star in Boomerang, but it's just like I
But
listen.
every movie he was in, he stole the show.
Every movie he was in, Martin Lawrence.
No, man.
I mean, and
Martin
even
was big, man. Martin was big in them 90s. He was big. I mean, like I say, in them 90s, Martin Lawrence was the man. He was the
yes.
man in them 90s.
Can we come on, Tony? This is what I'm saying. Did we forget about Life?
Exactly.
Life was hilarious. And I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest with you. I'm okay. Look.
My man Joe was bugging on that one.
Here's a confession. I recently discovered Life last year. I
What?
know. I know. I had
Jangle.
I had never watched Life, but you hear so many people talk about I felt like I knew the movie, but I had never actually sat down and watched it until last year. And dude, I'm
You gonna
laugh.
eat your cornbread?
What did he say? Can you direct us to the colored pies? I don't know why that line made me laugh the way that it did, but I thought that was funny.
Say he gets on cornbread.
Yeah. Oh man, Rick James was in what movie?
Rick James he was in Life. Rick James was the gangster that put him in the water.
What? The guy with
Remember
the
the
little
one that was on the
pepper bear?
game?
With the little
Remember
pepper
the
bear
one
mustache?
that was Rick James.
No. Oh, I gotta go back and rewatch it. Y'all blow
Yeah,
my
Rick
mind right
James
now.
is the gangster that sent them down to get the moonshine.
Wow. Okay, I gotta go back and rewatch it. I gotta go back. I might watch it tonight. That's crazy. I didn't know that. But see,
Yeah. Damn. You scared,
Spanky.
ain't you?
Okay.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
Oh, he was Spanky. Oh, snap.
Yeah, he was Spanky. He was the
Wow.
gangster on the cane.
I the baby's pappy. Right. Come on, man. There's so many classic lines from Life. Listen, I don't have a problem with people having their own opinions.
Yeah.
But
That's
black folks
bugging, man.
listen.
Joe was bugging.
Can I talk to you? Can I talk to y'all for a minute? Can we please get to a place where we are not tearing each other down so much? I don't have listen. I don't have a problem with you having your opinion because comedy, music, like most things in life, are subjective, right?
Yes, it is.
My taste is completely different than yours. But when it gets to a point where we are slandering another person, when it gets to a point where we are diminishing the works that another person has done, that's when I have a problem. Why can't we just let people be great? It's nothing wrong. It is nothing wrong with giving that man his flowers for the work that he's done. He laid a lot of groundwork for a lot of young comedians coming up. The movie model that he did. I mean, I know Eddie Murphy was a trendsetter, but you had guys like Martin who followed up behind him and took the mantle and they ran with it.
To be honest with you, it was if you want to be real with you, it was Eddie and then it jumped to Martin.
It's Eddie then to jump to Martin. And exactly, Bunny. If you know what, be factual with your opinions. If you just pull an opinion out your butt, I'm just gonna call you on it. But it's just
No.
like for you to sit up there and say that the man wasn't really a big star or he wasn't a huge star. It's just like, come on, dog. You just really just gonna try to diminish what the man accomplished and all the work that he did. I don't like that. But see, Joe Budden, let me tell you something about Joe Budden. Joe Budden is the same guy that sat up there when he was interviewing Noriega when he was on the show, and he laughed. And he said, "Man, do you see?" He was like, "Bro," he said, "I see all these guys out here trying to do this podcast thing."
And they fell.
He said, "And I see how they fail," and he said, "And I'm just laughing at them, and I
I
love
love
it.
it.
I
I
love
love
it.
they fella.
I love the fact that they failing."
Yeah.
Is that where we are? Is that where we are in life, where we get our joy from other people's failures? That's like me saying, "Ooh, man, you see Tony done fell off. Tony, man, he done dropped off and he did this, man. That thing ain't working. He thought he was dope, but how does that make? What does that make me look like? I'm happy for another man's failure. I'm glad because another man didn't make it. I was lucky. Because let's just be honest, it ain't like Joe Budden got a stellar product. He's talking just like me and Phil is. And he's talking about regular stuff just like everybody else talk about. You got lucky because you were already popular, because you were a rapper, and you decided to do something else because your rap career was trash. And so you went into podcasting because you were no longer relevant. So you said, you know what? Let me cash in on this internet stuff. And I'm going to go out here and be a troll and just talk about any and everything and just spew whatever garbage comes out of my mouth. And let's see what happens.
But you know what made him so good at it? Because he had get offered to doing radio. He's on Hot 97
Yeah, I know.
for a
And
minute, and
because Ebro
Def Jam
clowned him
made
the
them.
last time he was up
Yeah,
there.
Def Jam. They said Joe Budden used to be wild up there, sleeping on the studio board and all type of stuff.
Yeah,
But Def Jam made him quit the job because they said it wasn't cool for him to be a artist doing radio.
right.
So I think that he found his niche in the podcast game because, like I said,
I know you like Joe, and I'm
I
not trying to
like
deter
I like
you.
it.
I'm not trying to deter you from watching him, but I have issues with not just Joe, but with people in general. Like if you I remember when I was coming up, and I listen, I'm a gamer, and I've been playing video games since ColecoVision. And I remember back in the
Ooh,
day,
you old.
yeah, I'm old, man. Man,
Was that the handheld one?
no, that was no, it was the one with the keypad. It had the little knob and the two buttons on the
Oh,
side, and it had like the little keypad like a phone.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's what I'm talking. Yeah, I know.
That was
Yeah,
the one
that
that
one.
was after Atari that made Atari look kind of bad. When ColecoVision came out, everybody was like, dang, ColecoVision. So I've been gaming since ColecoVision. And I remember during the Nintendo and the Sega days, before the internet and everything came out, they used to have cheat codes for the games, to get like extra lives or to skip levels and stuff like that. And that stuff wasn't just readily available. You couldn't just we didn't have the internet to just go online and look up cheat codes. You had to buy the magazines or the strategy guides and stuff like that. And back then, when you was young, you ain't had no money like that to be buying books and strategy guides and everything. But you every now and again had that friend who used to get the magazines, and they would get the cheat codes, and they'd be like, "Man, look, I got a code for so and so and such and such." And you hanging around and you talking to other people, it's like, "Yeah, I got a code for this, that, and the other." Man, they give you 30 men. And look, if you all game, I know everybody in the world know that up, down, down, left, right, BA start code. Everybody know that. Everybody know that code. And when you knew it, it was just like people be like, "Oh man, how you do that?" You know what I would do? I would give them the code. I give them the cheat code. Man, look, this gives you 30 lives. Go ahead and knock that out. I don't understand why is it that people, when they had a code, when they know what to do, when they know what's successful, why is it so hard for us to share with other people?
Yeah, I don't get that neither.
Why is it that why do we not want everybody else to get a piece? The pie that everybody is fighting to get is huge. It's almost 8 billion people in the world. And you mean to tell me that you're afraid? Are you that afraid that I'm going to take the people that listen to you that you can't share with me? Hey man, how did you do it? How did you get to where you are? And I might not even do it. Maybe my worth ethic is different. Maybe you did something that I might not be able to do, and which is why you got there. But my thing is, why can't we give people the basics and say, hey, man, this is what I did. And I believe that if you follow this, you will get what I have. It may not be on the same level, but it'll definitely be more than what you currently have. Why is it that we can't do that? There's no collaboration sometimes with us. None. And we would rather laugh at somebody else's failure than to say, hey man, I got the code. Here you go. All I'm saying is listen, if you out there and if you doing what you're doing and you're successful in how you're doing, don't be that guy. Share the code. Tell them it's up, up, down, down, left, right, BA start. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, look, come on, y'all.
I got you, Mike.
Let's do better, man. My goodness. I'm just saying, if you up, man, bring somebody else up with you. That's all. And we'll be so much better off for it. I promise you we will. But listen, we have rambled on. So John, no, this is what I'm saying. So let's start. You gotta hit that select button. Up, down, down, left, right, BA, select start. Get them 30 men. Get them 30 men to finish Contra in one set. And that's all I'm saying. He already know the deal. But man, listen, we rambled long enough, man. I appreciate you all, as I always say.
Hope y'all enjoyed it, y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed it.
We wouldn't even be doing this if it wasn't for everybody that comes in and hangs out with us and goes back and rewatch the videos. I was supposed to give away a t-shirt this today, but I guess we'll do it next time. But man, I appreciate it and I love each and every one of you all, man. Again, I thank you all for hanging out with us, and please know that we do not take it for granted, because I understand that you can really be doing any and everything else. But the fact that you use your time and you hang out with us, man, I'm humbled by it. Humbled, like for real. And I just thank you all. I love you all. Listen, you all be safe. Have a good night. Enjoy your weekend. Go out and do something with your family this weekend, man. You all be safe. And until we meet again, my friends, y'all get 2 fingers to the side. Make sure you holler at your boys, because we out.
Peace.